Spanish series. I hope that you all have continued to enjoy the Bible series and the anatomy series as we've carried on with that. But we are back with another edition in the Spanish series. And today we're going to be focusing on those irregular verbs, those kind of atypical verbs. But this time we are going to key in on the future tense. So this time we will be saying, I will do something. I will say something. I will be able to do something. And then we'll, of course, do the standard Spanish A to Z through the trusty handy-dandy dictionary here. As always, if this is your first time with one of my videos, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you're returning, I'm glad you're back. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you did. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please leave a like. Helps people like me continue to make content for you. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with the future tense of irregular verbs. Of course, we have our yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, and ellos, ellas, ustedes template here at the top, and then we'll run through each one as we go. Now, we are going to start out here with our spelling change verbs. Now, it's noteworthy that some of these are not going to experience a drastic change like they do in the present tense or in the past tense. I'm just trying to keep these categorized together so that it doesn't get confusing. If you go back and watch a future video, these words are going to be pretty much in the same order, the same classification, and it just gives us a certain level of continuity, so that if you're trying to actually legitimately study it and not just go to sleep, which that's welcome too, don't worry. But if you're trying to do more than just relax to it and you want to actually study it, I want to be able to give you the ability to go back and review in a way that makes sense. So I'm going to have two classified here at the top because they actually don't experience any major changes. They follow a general format for a lot of what we saw in the future tense in general. So I'm going to put them at the top within the spelling change. And that's going to be conocer, which means to know. And that's person or place. And that's also going to be traer, which means to bring. So I've got these two classified at the top because they're going to follow the same basic pattern that we see in a lot of other general verbs, and that's going to be conocere. So the root conocer plus a, conocerás with an acento. Conocerá, excuse me. Conoceremos, and conocerán. So as you'll remember, and I'll put it here at the top just as a reminder, the general rule for most future tense verbs is y acento in the yo form, as the to form, a on the la usted, hemos, emos, and an with an acento. So as, a, hemos, an. And you'll see that again here on traer. Traere, traerás, traerá, traeremos, and traerán. And it's worth noting that I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes before as I've gone along, and someone hopefully reminded me I got the la usted of trae wrong. I put trae, which was a mistake. It's treae. I've been thinking about that one since I made it, but we'll keep it moving. Alright, now we're going to get into some spelling change verbs that are going to experience a spelling change in the root of the word, and that will carry throughout the rest of the conjugations. We'll actually see it quite a bit through the rest of the classifications, but the first one that applies with that is salir, which is to leave or to go out. going to see that as the root is going to be S-A-L-D. It's going to change from S-A-L-I to S-A-L-D. So it's going to be saldre, saldras, saldra, saldremos, and saldrán. Accent on all of them except for the nosotros form. Next is going to be hacer, which is to do or to make. And that's going to be, it's going to change to H-A-R. I got excited and put the E. That's going to be the O form. Are, harás, hará, haremos, and harán. So they will do, we will do, él, ella, usted. And I guess normally I like to review these with you. Sorry, I'm getting all ahead of myself. So we've got conoceré, conocerás, conocerá, conoceremos, and conocerán. That's going to be to know. We will know. We will know. I will know. Traeré, I will bring. Traerás, traerá, traeremos, traerán. And then we've got salir. So saldré, I will go out. Saldrás, you will go out or you will leave. Saldrá, saldremos, saldrán. And then haré, harás, hará, haremos, harán. Alright, that actually concludes our spelling change. And now we're going to get into the stem change. And what that means is that the beginning portion of the verb, kind of like what we saw with saldré and haré, is going to change from what it was to something new that will carry through the conjugations. So we are going to include here, we got saber, which is to know, and this is more facts. And that way, for that, we're going to have sabre. So it's S-A-B-R. Sabre. Sabrás. Sabrá. Sabremos. And sabrán. Saber. Sabré, sabrás, sabrá, sabremos, sabrán. Next is querer. To want. And that's going to change to a root of Q-E-R-R. So we're going to see that as querer, querrás, querrá, queremos. And that second R is going to be important because that will distinguish between present tense and future tense. Because the present tense is only Q-U-E-R-E-M-O-S in comparison. And querrán. So querer, querrás, querrá, queremos, querrán. Next is poder. And that means to be able. To be able. And that's going to change to P-O-D-R. Podré. Podrás. Podrá. Podremos. And podrán. The accent mark is actually very helpful in a lot of instances to know the future tense beyond just the change in the form itself. Podré, podrás, podrá, podremos, podrán. Next is decir, which is to tell. And that's going to change to D-I-R. So we'll have diré, I will tell. Dirás, you will tell. Dirá, he, she usted will tell. Diremos. And dirán. Diré, dirás, dirá, diremos, dirán. Next is jugar, which means to play. To play. And this one actually defaults back to the general pattern. So, jugaré, jugarás, you will play, jugará, jugaremos, and jugarán. Jugaré, jugarás, jugará, jugaremos, jugarán. Alright, and then the last class is the special verbs. Now to this point, they've been real special by being in a special pain in the butt. But I have good news. They follow very straightforward conjugation patterns in the future tense. So, a little bit of good news. Easy to remember. So, estar, which is to be. And again, a reminder, temporary. Temporary. So that would be like being angry or sad. That's going to be estaré, estarás, estará, estaremos, and estarán. Thank goodness for a little bit of straightforward, right? Next is ser, which is also to be, but it is permanent. And that's like height. Okay, so we have seré, serás, será, seremos, and serán. And a quick note on será, I just figured I'd mention the fact that there's that famous song, Que será, será, which just means what will be, will be. So that's where that comes from. Será, que será, será. And the last one, we'll tuck here in the corner, ir, which means to go. And with that, we will have iré, irás, irá, iremos, and irán. There you go. Iré, irás, irá, iremos, irán. And that is your future tense of irregular verbs. Now, obviously, this is not all-encompassing. These are just some that I pulled together that kind of fall into a different bucket than your general conjugation in the standard form. And sometimes, when you're learning them, it's intimidating to have the present tense just throw you for a loop and say, these rules do not apply. I'm trying to keep them categorized so that as you go through each format, you can understand, okay, it does this in the present, it does this in the past, it does this in the future. And that's kind of how you go about memorizing it, especially if you can put them into different little buckets that you go through with any kind of repetition. Repetition is the key to learning, right? Repetition is the key to learning. Now we will move into the next phase of the video, which is just the part where we go through and we find words that catch my attention that I think that would be functionally useful in the Spanish to English dictionary, or English to Spanish. We're going to use it the other way around. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started. A to Z, or A to Z with the exception of the ones that don't have a whole lot of words like X, Y, Z and things like that. But, you know, if you've been here before, you know the drill. Alright, useful at airports here. Arrival. You will want to go to the gate that says llegada. Llegada. And remember the double L makes a Y sound. Llegada. Llegada. And then, I like this one. Bandage. It's going to be benda. Benda. noise in Spanish. Venta. Venta. Alright. Next, we are in the seas. We will go, for any of you who are fans of comic books, comic is going to be cómico. Cómico. And that's not to be confused with comedian, because it depends on the context in which it's used. Because if you're at a comic show, then that would be cómico, the person. But like a Captain America, Iron Man, something like that, that would also be cómico. It just depends on the context. All right. Deep. Profundo. And the way I've always remembered this one is, if you have a profound thought, a deep thought, profundo. 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 This actually also could be helpful, depending where you're at, airport or somewhere else. An exit is going to be salida. Now, for those of you paying attention, you might notice that salida looks awful close to our word for to go out, salir. So salida is an exit. An easy way to remember that, I'd like to think at least. Okay, we are next in the F's. Okay. That's a fun word. A flask. A flask. It's going to be frasco. Frasco. Flask. Frasco. Frasco. I try to avoid the cognates when I can, but sometimes if it's a commonly used word, it's worth it. Guitar is guitarra. Let me make sure. Is that two T's? No. Sorry. Apologies, folks. Got a little excited. It's going to be guitarra. I thought it was double T's, double R. Got ahead of myself. Guitarra. Guitarra. Okay. Hope is esperanza. So I have both met people with this name, Hope, which makes sense because that's also an English name, Hope. But I've also seen different medical clinics with that name before, like Clínica de Esperanza. So that would be Hope Clinic in English. So now you know. Next is we're in the eyes. Let's see. Okay. Injury. I've also seen this for the word wound. And that's going to be herida. 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 Okay. Alright, now we're in the A's. Or the J's, excuse me. Jaw. Your jaw. That will be, where was it at? Mandibula. There's an accent mark in there. Mandibula. Which makes sense because if you've been following along in the anatomy series, you might have recognized that we've brought up the mandible, which is your jawbone. Mandibula. 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 is norte. North. Norte. 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 Okay. We're in the O's. I'm learning this one too. It's like when I think last time we were in the O's, we did otter, which was, I believe, nutria, if I remember correctly. Let me look. Yeah, nutria. This time we're going to go with oyster, and that is ostra. Ostra. El agua está llena de ostras. Okay. We are in the P's now. Okay. Alright. We did Pierce last time. Oh, this is a good one. If it's, yeah. Let me double check. Double checking. Maybe not. I thought the pickle was pepino, but that may just be cucumber. We'll keep looking. Sticking with the animal vibe for 2 in a row. Pigeon is paloma. 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 Pigeon. Paloma. Alright, not a whole lot to choose from in the Q's. We may not be able to do this in the future, but we can say quick, or more commonly, fast. And that's going to be rapido. Rapido. With an accent on the A, acento en A. Rapido. Rapido. Ring. Like a wedding ring. Anillo. Anillo. Ring. Ring. And then I don't think we've done one of the simpler ones that you definitely need to know. Shoe is zapato. 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 And then we're in the T's. And for that, what shall we do? What shall we do? I guess we could do tempt. And that would be tentar. Tentar. Tempt is tentar. Do we have anything good in the U's here? Okay. Ultimate, or what I've also seen this used for is last. And that's ultimo. Ultimo. Acento on the U. Ultimo. Ultimo. And then we're in the V's. What shall we do? We did estrofa, or verse, last time. I remember that. You know what? Let's keep it simple. A true cognate. Virus is virus. 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 And then W. Like a magic wand. That's a fun one. You Harry Potter fans out there. Wand. It's going to be varita. XYZ, again, slim pickings, so we won't go into that one today. But just to review the words that we do have: arrival, llegada, bandage, binda, comic, cómico, deep, profundo, exit, salida, flask, frasco, guitar, guitarra, hope, esperanza, injury or wound, herida, jaw, mandibula, kidney, riñón, light, loose, makeup, maquillaje, north, norte, oyster, ostra, pigeon, paloma, quick or fast, rápido, ring, anillo, shoe, zapato, tempt, tentar, ultimate or last, último, virus, virus, and wand, varita. There you go. I think that will bring what we're going to cover today to a conclusion. If you liked this video, please subscribe.